G'day viewers, Dano here from Dano's channel, back at ya. Oh, one mate again. Alright, so today's video finds us in Siem Reap in Cambodia, and we've heard about this little place that has trained rats to find landmines and things like that. So we're going to go and check it out. Apparently we get to see a hero rat today. So I reckon that's going to be pretty good. Now the old rats using their snouts to sniff out the explosives and all that sort of thing. So yeah, let's go in and check it out.
ហើយយើងក៏មានមោទនភាពថាសត្វកណ្ដុរវាពិតជាអាចរកមានឃើញហើយក៏វាអាចជួយរំដោះដីជូនដល់ប្រជាជនខ្មែរ បាយចិត្តណាបានខាងសัตว์កណ្ដោនេះមករករាវមីនខ្ញុំសប្បាយចិត្តធ្វើស្រែខ្ញុំការពីមុនមានមីនមែនបានកណ្ដោនេះមករកមីនខ្ញុំសប្បាយចិត្តខ្លាំងណាស់ហើយក៏បានកំចាត់ធាតុកលាកមុខនឹងចេញពីប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
So my name is Subchit, I'm the local guide. So Apopo, so who are we and what we do? So let me kind of introduce to you a little bit first. So Apopo, that's the acronym of our full name. The full name actually in Dutch. So we are a Belgian organization from the Dutch-speaking part, the founders from that part, but we are not based in Belgium. We are now based in Tanzania, in a city called Morogoro. So in city Morogoro, our headquarters, that's where Apopo, we work on breeding, training our rat for the purpose of our work. Apopo, for the past 25 years, we have trained several rats for the purpose of mine clearance and tuberculosis screening. So, and then we send the rat out to work in other countries. Mine clearance, the rat got trained to detect the TNT inside the mines in the ball. So the rat got trained to detect TNT, got sent out to the minefield. Rat rely on their amazing ability of smell or scent detection to go out, sniffing the ground for TNT item, locate the item, and then they will scratch on the surface. So the use of the rat on the minefield for the work to locate the items only, not to detonate the item to explode. So rat scratch on the top, people will manually coordinate, have bomb disposal expert to go in, verify the rat scratch, any mines, any bomb found, get all of those items removed from the minefield. So that's really the use of the rat for the work. Tuberculosis screening, it's a different kind of work that we do. So this work, we train the rat to check on sputum sample. So very much we have to collect sputum sample from people that we suspect that they might have TB or tuberculosis. Take the sample to the lab, treat the sample first to 100 degrees Celsius, and then we would line the sample up. The rat will go through each one of them, one after another. The way that they would tell us if it is a positive sample is by pausing on the sample for a few seconds. They pause on the sample, poke the nose above the test tube, and we know that's positive. If it's negative, they will not care. Just like items on the minefield that are not TNT based, they will not care at all. Just skip over to the next one until they encounter with the one that's positive. So yeah, so using rat for the purpose of our work, like both of our programs, able to speed up the work very well. Tuberculosis screening, 100 sample, about 20 minutes for a rat to go. So saving a lot of time and effectively in noting down which one is positive, which one is negative, and able to save more life in a short time. Same thing with mine clearance. A tennis court side of the minefield take about half an hour for a rat to go through. So speeding up the process. These rats, they have very remarkable ability in terms of the scent smell. They can be trained to differentiate the smell and target purchase a particular substance. So yeah, they can reduce the margins of error quite a lot.
So you said half an hour for a tennis court size. What if people were clearing it? How long?
With a metal detector, like that would be the conventional method. It can take several days to complete that. The way the metal detector works, they detect metal. So not all metals out there on the minefield are mines and gold. There's some scrap metal, there's some aluminum, there's some piece of metal that would be out there. Depending on the level of the scrap metal on the field, more time it will take. And the way we use metal detectors, like we scan the entire area slowly. We normally carve an area like 1 meter square, and then we go in with a metal detector. We trim the grass, and then we work with metal detector. So 1 meter at a time. It's very time consuming. But the way that we use the rat for the work, we tend to carve the mine field into grids. The width would be about 5 meters wide, like this map. You can see there's a lot of rectangular grids here. The width would be about 5 meters wide, but the length can be several meters long. Can be 20, can be 30, depending on the circumstances of the field. The way to work, one rat can be hit up with two handlers. Handlers will stay on the side of the grid, with a rope attached in between. Handlers will move forward by taking a step at a time, like half meter each time, just guiding the rat through, back and forth along the road, and continue on until the whole area is finished. Any item, or any TNT item the rat found, they will stop on that location and start scratching. Handlers mark down the coordinates and keep on going forward.
So you mentioned with the metal detectors, clear the vegetation first.
Yeah.
What about with the rats? Is the vegetation
Same.
same thing?
We do the same, but with metal detector, the way we use it, we just use like a scissors, small scissors, like clipping the ground bit by bit. And we do it with the rat, so we have to create a box or a grid for the rat to do the work. So on the side, we create a safe path. So machine, we call a brush cutter machine, really it's a big excavator. So driving on the side with the arm. So the arm is about 6 meters long. That's how far they can stretch. So with the blade, the arm stretched in and the blade going above the surface, clearing all the vegetations. So it's quickly done with the machine, the big machine, and then the rat can go in right away and do the search of the explosive. So speeding up the work a bit better. But Apopo, we don't release it. We don't discard the method of metal detector. We still rely on some part with metal detector as well. But we have the rat do more of the work. Some part cannot be done by the rat. We use metal detector to support the work that we do. Especially the path in between each of the grids, right? Where the people are supposed to do to guide the rat for the search, and the machine have to go there. We use metal detector to pave the way. It could take a bit of time there, but when we get the rat to the 5 meter area, speed up the work much better than using just metal detector alone on the knife. So effectiveness is pretty much about the same. Able to clear the land, get the land back to the people. Yeah, any other questions? Yes.
100% accuracy with the rats? Do they ever miss anything?
Well, to be honest, like working on minefield, either with metal detector, with rats, with dogs, it's not guaranteed that everything is perfect. But we are able to do the work on very high success rate. There's some small margins of error, but so far, Apopo been working here for the past 8 years. Released more than 36 million square meters of land, or more than 5,000 explosives removed from the minefield. We have not got any kind of report from local people saying, okay, they have found some leftover explosive on the field, or anyone got into an accident here. So far, been good. But you can say it's perfect up until now. But there's still small margins of error. You cannot get everything done like perfect. But so far, been good. Okay, I think, yeah, so that's pretty much the sort of information that I want to share at the beginning of the tour here. Any more questions that you'd like to ask before we continue on forward? All right, so let's continue on with the tour first. And if you have more questions or anything that you'd like to ask, please feel free to let me know. And I will try to, give you more information about our work as well. So please gather around this area. You can also go to the other side as well, or to this path also, no problem. I will go inside this area, this section here. So before we go ahead and see the rat for the work, we will have a demonstration on that. But let me show you what we have here. So this area is enclosed using the rope. We also have some several markers like this one in. Put down around this whole area. This marker is used to target, to notify local people that this area is a danger area with mines involved. Yeah, the marker, it says there, danger mine, CMAC to the side with the skull sign. So CMAC, it's an acronym of one of the group here in Cambodia. That's the logo, Cambodian Mine Action Center. That's the government team. Also our partner here in Cambodia. So Cambodia, we still have a lot of landmines. So this group, the government team, been working on minefield for about 31 years now, with the help of other organizations, but we have not cleared everything yet. So still have landmines that are out there. So yes, so what are the explosives we have here? It's not just landmines or the ordnances as well. So these are some of the items. So we have one item there. Yeah, that's an anti-tank mine. So a landmine, they target large vehicle during the war, tank transporting vehicle and all of that. After the war, tractor. Yeah, people took the tractor out of part of the field, step on the item, explode. But the trigger point tend to be high. Yeah, so 150, 200 kilograms and more in order to pressure onto them to explode. People generally would be a bit too light. So when we are talking about landmines, most of the landmines were actually planted during this period from 1970s to 1990s. We call the Civil War. So Civil War, 3 groups fought the war, mainly responsible for planted most of the mines here. Khmer Rouge, you may have heard about the genocide, resistance fighter, and Vietnam troop. So planted the mines, about 4 to 6 million landmines. Not just this anti-tank, there's some anti-personnel mines as well, like these here. These two. If you want to come down a little bit more, have a close-up look on the item, also possible. So these anti-personnel mines, they are no longer active. So this one, no longer functioning anymore. We call it a tripwire mine. So this mine with a wire. So the way the item normally planted, normally to the jungle in, like blended it in with vegetation. So people would just walk through, trip onto the wire, the mine would jump up in air and then boom, the metal shell tend to break down, splash around, injure anyone in the range, 5 meters away, 10, 15 meters away, depending on the strength, but any part of the body. It's anti-personnel mine, but planted with the wire. Tripwire, that's normally we tend to refer to them with that name. This is also a landmine. Anti-personnel mine is the same, but it's pressure based. You have to step right on top, exert enough pressure, just like the anti-tank, in order to cause them to explode. But anti-tank, they require much more weight. This one, they don't require that much weight. 4, 5 kilograms. It's quite low, but able to cause them to explode. Some of them, not all, but some. Some require much more, 10, 15 kilograms, but the least can be just about 4 or 5. So step on top, a pressure-based mine. As soon as you step on it, boom, amputate a person's leg. Not like in movie, you say, oh, you step on a mine, just stay still, nothing will happen. No, that's not the way. That would be a pressure release mine. So pressure-based, as soon as you step on it, it's done. The leg got amputated directly, or got severely injured, doctor cannot save it, chop it off, or before, or the person like lose a limb, lose a lot of blood without medication on time, and also got killed by, result in death as well. So this is, one type of landmines that are out there. It's the PMN2 mine. It's pressure based, but the name is called the PMN2 mine. So these are landmines, but this one here is not landmine. It's a mortar lying from a pipe to a surface, exploded upon impact. So normally those ones that remain on the ground, we tend to call them unexploded ordnance. So when we talk about unexploded ordnance, most of them actually having to do with Vietnam War. Vietnam War. So North Vietnamese versus the South. Right? The North versus the South. North Vietnamese soldiers would cross into Cambodia. They use the Ho Chi Minh Trail, attack the South from the flank. But U.S. also supported the South during that time. Sent the plane over, carpet bombing on North Vietnamese soldiers on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Around 26 million that got dropped during that time. A lot of them didn't explode, staying on the ground like that. So, if they got left on the field for a long time, they can get quite unstable. So what happened, after the war, people encounter these items, try to move them around. Sometimes they even pull them out from the ground. Some, they attempt to get some scrap metal to save, crack the item open, but how? Using a saw, using a hammer, can cause the item to explode. So, yes, unexploded bomb with the landmines that being planted together lead to a lot of, high numbers of victims. 1979 to roughly about 2023, about 65,000 people either reported death or are killed or injured by the explosives. So very high numbers. Even 2024, this year, just the first 5 months, there's a report from the Cambodian Mine Action and Victim Assistance saying 30 cases already happened here. Just the first 5 months, 2024. So still a lot of victims that are out there. So we are trying to get everything cleared, as quickly as possible. So no more people can get injured. It's a long. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of work to be done. A lot of areas of land that are not yet clean. To be honest, exactly when it's going to be mine free for Cambodia, it's difficult to say. From now, maybe 15, maybe 20 years, we'll see first. Okay, so these are some brief information about the situation, mines here, bombs here inside Cambodia. Or anyone have any questions?
Obviously, metal and that sort of stuff buried in the ground deteriorates over a bit of time.
Yes.
How long do these remain active?
Well, so landmines, they were planted from the 70s to the 90s, right? So they are already, 40, 50 years old already, plus. But they are still active. They can last for a long time.
So no one really knows when they become a nerd.
Exactly. Maybe 100, maybe more. Yeah, but we know that it's not going to be a few years. So they are still active. Most of them are active, really. Unexploded ordnance, they can be unstable, but we can say like 50% chance that they can explode. But landmines, most of the time. So what's the length? Not sure. As long as they're out there, still remain a risk to the people. Okay.
How common is the tripwire?
How many?
How common is that? It seems that animals could trigger that, or
Yeah.
trees falling down. Is that common?
Well, we do have those that are, a lot out there, but over time, this wire tend to easily break down faster than, let's say, this one or that one, because they are more exposed to the rain, all of those. So the wire tend to easily break down faster than the ones. Okay, are we good? All right, so let's continue on to the next part. Please make your way a little bit more. You should really come to this part also.
Are there many American bombs?
There are many in. I'm not exactly sure the numbers that they have estimated that still left. So there were about 26 million explosives that got dropped by US during that time. let's say about 1.8 million that didn't explode, and around 5 point something million crucibles that remain from the.
And is that mainly in the south? Then?
Yes,
Is that in the south and the east?
eastern part of Cambodia. So we can say on the border of Vietnam. So all of those provinces likely to find unexploded bombs from US. But civil war, yes, it's scattered across the whole country. So with most actually with landmarks. Okay, everybody. So our team will give you a quick demonstration on how we work with our rat. Our rat inside the box, his name is Stephania. So Stephania is a boy, 5 years old, almost 6 years old now, and he will come and show you how it's done.
Do they bond with particular handlers, or they'll work with any handler?
They don't bond like dog, so any handlers can go out with a rat for the book. You may take some photos, you may take some videos, but try not to touch him for now. You will get a chance to do that later on. So this breed of rat, we call them African giant pouch, native only to Gambia, Africa. They can live quite long, 8 years. So good amount of years to work with. 1 year for training, 4 or 5 years working with them on the field, 1 or 2 years for pension time. So like Stephania over here, almost 6 years old. He's about to get retired. But you see, he's still quite strong. And also the biggest one here, 1.5 kilogram. Normally the average weight is about 1.2 or 1.3, but it's a bit bigger. So this is how we do the work. So for the demonstration, we had planted 2 metal containers. One item here, another item there. This one is empty. This one is empty. He doesn't care. Empty container. Just keep on going forward. The one with TNT is a bit further down, got covered. You will see his reaction. See, he's scratching, right? So scratch, and let's notice that click. Something move. So normally with Stephania, he's quite active. So he normally won't stay still for long. So if you notice he's scratching, it's like he's quite unsettled. Something is. See that? So he's very quick. So the handlers have to really understand the behavior of the rat. We're easily working quite well with them. So the way we train rats back to our headquarters in Tanzania is by using clicker and reward. So if they do the work well, scratch, click, give them some banana, give them some peanuts as a way to motivate them to be active in trying to find the TNT item. But once they're already graduated from the training, we tend to assess them. They go out and do the work, but there's no need the reward anymore. So when it is done, we will go back to shelter.
Thank you.
Thank you. So what is there where Stephania kind of scratched a little bit and it was quite, trying to circle and trying to scratch, but it's a mental item. Not the same, it's like that one just right there. You didn't really care much. Go through. But this one, something about scratch a little bit. So handlers later. So handlers, what they do out on the field, they have to mark that coordinate down by relying on this meter tape. One that runs on the side here, another one going across. So get a coordinate written down. Place it to the side. Okay? Anyone have any particular question about this part or anything earlier. We are good, right? Okay, so let's continue on. Anyone would like to hold the wrap? Yes, okay. Right, so if you want to hold the wrap, please make sure you wash your arm first, both arms. We have the sink right over there. You see the soap there? So wash your arm first. We have towel for you to dry your arm as well. They like to lick onto the skin. So anything like sunscreen, spray, we don't want them to lick. So that's why we have to wash the arm so that they can stay healthy. And the photo will just be underneath the tree. So please make your way if you want to hold them. This platform closer to your body. Just make sure you stay still. They like to lick on. Sometimes they don't. If they lick, you know what happened. Salt, sweat on the skin.
You can't eat that, okay?
The main programs that we do, my clearance, TV. Same species but different. With the video. So please follow me.
After the show, we moved inside where they took us through some videos and stuff like that, explaining more about the Popo, and it was quite interesting to learn that they're also using these rats to find tuberculosis in patients. So yeah, they're quite handy. Well, that's just about all we've got for this video. If you're not already a subscriber, do us a favour, smash that subscribe button down the bottom there and give us a thumbs up. Until the next one, bye for now.